learning the science and the art of surgery. And just hold on. And therefore, as surgeons, we have a right to be proud because we are the best at what we do, and we are proud to be of value in our community. And as surgeons, most of us, we spend all our awake hours working, not just working, but updating ourselves and teaching. And now even with COVID, we spend a lot of our time even just learning and teaching other people. And in fact, most of us as surgeons, we work much more than the average person. And most of us work way past our 60s when most other people who have retired. And I just want to ask a question tonight. There are a lot of us tuning in tonight. But why do people work? Most of us work to earn money, to keep alive, but we also work to continue learning and working. It gives us a sense of self-worth. Also, as surgeons, it gives us value in our community. But, as surgeons, why do we actually continue working, even though we know sometimes, life is difficult as a surgeon and, we have made enough money, we have our place in society. Why do we continue working? In fact, many of us surgeons, we live because of surgery. Without surgery, we are as good as dead. We know without surgery, we are useless. Why do I say that? Just look at ourselves. In fact, for most of us, surgery occupies all our time. We talk about surgery to everyone we meet. People meet us, they ask us about surgery. And in fact, for many of us, most of our friends are either surgeons or doctors. And even when we are chilling out, we just discuss patients and surgical problems. Because actually, deep down, we know without our OT, without our surgical equipment, we are nobody. A surgeon has power. Each of us has power over life and death. People come to us with cancers, with serious illnesses. We say, no problem, see me, I'll solve it for you. And powerful people never stop working because that work is the source of their power and the source of their self-worth. But when we look at ourselves, we have asked ourselves, is surgery consuming us? When we look at people, when we look at activities, when we look at relationships, based solely on whether that person, that activity, that relationship has effect on our career, effect on our surgery, then our surgery may be consuming us. And we don't even have time for ourselves, for our family, for our friends, or to pursue or to indulge in our talents. When everything is taken, very personally, and when outside the OT, we really are just a vacuum. Because a lot of us, we just fill our time with work, and as Parkinson's law says, work expands to fill the time allocated for its completion. We know that surgery, learning and teaching and CME and all is good, but we need also time to be ourselves. We all only have one life, so we really need, to make time for ourselves.
Francis, please unmute yourself.
Did all I say, you didn't hear anything I said?
Yeah, no, it was fine. There were some disturbances, so I muted all. Just unmute. Please continue. Please continue.
Okay. So we only have one life, and it's not about not having time. We have time for things that matters to us. If somebody invites us for dinner or invites us out, we say, sorry, I'm very busy. It means that person is not important. We always make time for what we want to do. So what about ourselves? What about each of us here? Is our life just about surgery? And what do we really want to achieve in this life? We should not put off until tomorrow what we can do today. Because really, are we starting to do what we want to do? Or are we waiting for retirement or for the next holiday to start doing what we really want to do in life? Many of my friends say, look, why are you running around, catching these insects, going in the forest in the middle of the night? Why don't you wait for retirement? Well, we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. We may not be as healthy as we are tomorrow as we are today. We may not be able to do tomorrow what we can do today. So it's very important for us to remember, we may not get the chance to enjoy tomorrow what you should have enjoyed today. So start doing today what you want to do and not wait till the last day on earth. Because when it comes to our last day on earth, what will be our greatest regret? I don't think anybody on earth that has ever lived on the last day on earth will think, oh, I should have made more money, because money on the last day on earth will not matter anymore. They will be thinking, oh, I should have done more laparoscopic surgery. I should have done more minimally invasive surgery. Or I should have gone to more meetings. Or I should have written more papers. Nobody will think in that way on their last day on earth. So we should live life with no regrets. We should take time to fulfill our dreams and to do what we love. We should spend time right now with those who love us or those we love. Because if you don't have time, it means you don't have the interest. We'll always have time for what interests us. So give time what interests you. I just want to give you a few examples. Here is Harry Bacon. You all know him. He's a founding member of ISUCRS, also an ex-president of the American Society of Colorectal Surgeons. He has 15 major textbooks, so a very well-established colorectal surgeon. He, in fact, founded the Diseases of Colon and Rectum, the journal. But many of us don't know he had considerable literary and musical abilities. He wrote 3 volumes of poetry, as well as musical arrangements for piano and organ. Myself, just to share a little bit of what I do. Of course, our friend Manesh has told you about what I have done before. And I, in fact, was awarded the Excellence of Singapore Award in the year 2000 for my contribution to international colorectal surgery. But, family is very important. We need to give time, although we may be very busy at work, to give time to our family. Friends are very important. We need to give time to our friends. And this is just a photo of my classmates from 1964 to 1975, 12 years in the same school. And serving in our community is very important. I have been a member of the church, board member. I've been founding chairman for Guide Dogs for the Blind. It's nothing to do. A lot of people ask me, you're a colorectal surgeon. How does it help you if you go and lead the guide dogs? But this is something we do for the community in which we live in. And I was chairman of City College, which is a charity aimed at helping rejects of normal school to succeed in life. And of course, Professor Manesh has mentioned, this is my really, outside interest. I've written 10 books on stick insects. I run about the jungles looking for new species and describing their habits and naming them. And because of this work, I've been made associate researcher with the Natural History Museum, with the Forestry Department, as well as the National Biodiversity Board. All of us as surgeons, we actually are next to God when we are working. We have authority over everybody in the theater. We have power over life and death. We're respected in our community. And hopefully we're also loved by our patients. But why do we need a life outside the OT? Because really, when we think about it, when we retire or when we don't have access to operating theater, without the hospital appointment, we cannot do what we have trained our whole lives to do. The thing that we are good at, the thing we are best at, the thing that we excel at, we cannot do anymore. And for many surgeons, when they don't have a life outside the OT, their life actually ends when they retire. We need a life outside surgery. We need a goal. We need to aim high. So do not wait for retirement to realize that you have no skill for anything else in life. A lot of people after retirement, they go home and start quarreling their wives and start giving problems to family because they realize, the wife realized that outside surgery, they're good for nothing at home. So let's not run the wrong race. Let's not run the rat race. We should run in the right direction. remember, love yourself, love your life, love your family. Do what you want to do or what you always wanted to do today. Don't wait till tomorrow when we can't do what we can do today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Francis. That was a wonderful talk that you gave. In fact, without theater, we are nothing. So when we retire, if you don't have any other passion to do, then you are all finished. That's a wonderful line that you have really summarized the thing. We'll get back to you as we proceed and finish up all the talks. May I now request Professor Adarsh Chaudhary, Bas, please go ahead. Your screen and air, everything is yours.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it is there. Please.
Thank you very much. So what I learned from Francis is this, that what you want to do, you have to add something extra to what you're doing. So one of my desires, like all of you in life, was to live longer. And I was trying to find ways, how can I live longer? And ultimately I realized the only way which is proven to make us live long is probably to exercise. As surgeons, we need to learn a couple of things. So my talk essentially is divided into three halves. There's a bit of science in it. How does exercise help? Should we make our patients exercise? And how we as surgeons can build our own exercise program. We all know these things, that if you exercise, you can lose your body weight, you can control your blood pressure, it improves mental health, and there is evidence it even improves cognitive functions. What I want to tell you today is that there's a link between aging and exercise. Despite hundreds of explored and developed theories, not a single one fully and comprehensively explains the process of aging. We know that aging occurs because of a cumulative damage to our cells. We forget that the skeletal muscle is an endocrine organ. Many of us forget that. And skeletal muscles secrete proteins like cytokines and peptides, which are called as myokines. Now, these myokines have anti-inflammatory and anabolic effects. So as we grow older, if you see, our own thighs become smaller, our biceps become smaller, we get sarcopenic, our muscles become smaller. So the myokines which are released also become less. So we get less immunity and we develop what is called as the immune sense, which is called as the cell death. So we are beginning to realize that the only surest way which can prolong life possibly is exercise. So exercise is a polypill which can prevent cell death and possibly can prolong life. Most of my surgery is cancer surgery. And more I read about exercise, more I get convinced that exercise has effect on cancer. When we exercise, the big muscles release hormones, cytotoxic cells, which identify and destroy any abnormal cells. Interestingly, there is muscle to tumor crosstalk, which means when the muscle contracts, myokines are released. These myokines prevent cancer cells from getting multiplied. So this is a bit of science which I wanted to share, that exercise affects the tumor microenvironment simply in the way, because we must understand that hypoxia is important for the growth of cancer cells. And when you exercise, the hypoxia gets affected. So the progress of cancer cells, tolerance to chemotherapy, tolerance to radiation can also improve. Exercise is essentially of two types. One is aerobic exercise, which is also called as endurance training, in which you run, you walk, you do cycle, you do fitness dance. These exercises are medium intensity, they last longer, they involve multiple muscle groups, and they basically improve your cardiopulmonary reserves. The second group of exercise is the strength training or resistance training, where you use your body weight or you use dumbbells, and these build up your muscles and they combat sarcopenia. And for a healthy lifestyle, we need to do both aerobic and also to do strength training. There are numerous articles in literature today which have shown that in the prehabilitation program, a regulated exercise program affects results. The ICU stay, surgical site infection, length of stay is all decreased. What we have to decide is what is the frequency of exercise, how severe should these be exercises, how often should they be done, and what is the type of exercise. It is generally believed, if it's possible, exercise should be started 4 to 8 weeks prior to surgery, provided you have this interval, should be done at least 3 times a week, about 40 to 60 minutes each time, and should be of moderate intensity. The basis is that the exercise should have more stress than normal physiological function to be useful. Now we have a concept which is important, is called as the high intensity interval training, HIIT, which essentially means you do alternating short intervals of high intensity all out exercise with periods of rest. The emphasis is high intensity. In this form of exercise, you really give all that you have to work hard. And in 1996, Dr. Tabata, who worked with the group of Japanese skating team, and he found that when they did 20 seconds of exercise, 10 seconds of rest, the results were excellent. And this is one of the topics in exercise physiology, which is the most highly quoted. There are randomized level 1 studies which have shown that the Tabata method of exercises improves outcomes in various ways. High intensity training causes fat loss, it is fast, it is flexible, it is fun, and most important, it's free of cost. You can do it at home. And interestingly, evidence suggests that elderly people have a better response to HIIT than younger people have. So for HIIT to be effective, it should be regular, repetitive, and rigorous. What do I do? That's my exercise routine is I do HIIT thrice a week. It takes me about 35 to 40 minutes. I do strength training thrice a week. I use a medicine ball twice a week. I try to use it, and I do 1,000 push-ups a week. It looks difficult to say 1,000 push-ups a week. It is not difficult. What you do is I have classified push-ups into various forms. So I have 8 different types of push-ups into 3 groups. So there are 24 push-ups. So I do 10 repetitions of each push-up. So essentially it becomes 240. I have not been able to reach the target of 240. I normally do between 170 to 190. So I have developed this classification myself. It is just like any complicated surgery that you divide the surgery into small baby steps. If I have to do 180 push-ups one way, I cannot do it. So what I do is my target is only to do 8 push-ups with a normal grip, 8 with the, say 10 with the diamond grip. So this way, if I calculate in the whole week, my target is to do 1,000 push-ups in a week. Then I do a high intensity training. I'm not fit enough to do a 20-10. So I do a 30-second exercise. I give a 20-second rest. When I finish one set, I wait for 2 minutes and I then do 3 sets. So these are the exercises I do in my exercise. This is what is called as the squat thrust. I take a medicine ball, I bend down, and I move to one side. So this is one of the effective ways of doing a squat thrust. The next exercise I do is called as a lunge rotation. You take a lunge and you rotate on one side. So most of my exercises are compound exercises. I join various muscle groups. I'm holding a 10 kilogram medicine ball in my hand. So I lunge and rotate on one side. Then I do what is called as a bicycle crunch. So these exercises are done in a 30-second period, the 20-second rest. After that, I do what is called as an inchworm push-up. You go forward like an inchworm, you come back, and then I keep doing it for 30 seconds. The basic message is that the effort has to be intense. You have to go all out to do that. The next exercise I do is called as a break dance push-up. In this, you do a push-up, you bring one leg, and then you move your leg like a break dancer. And this is a very good exercise for your shoulders and also works very well on your obliques. So you do these exercises in a way that they continuously follow. The next exercise do is called as a jumping jacks. It's one of the best exercises. You hold a medicine ball and keep jumping so it makes you breathless. And then I do what is called as the conventional mountain climbers, that you keep moving your knees to your elbows. And then I do use a machine called as a landmine. You can see one end of it is fixed. With the other end, I move on both sides. This works on my core. I'm often asked the question by some people, if I have to rate one single exercise which is the best, I'll say that one of the best exercises is an exercise called as man makers. Now this exercise incorporates a plank, a push-up, a row, a tuck-in jump, a bicep curl, a squat, and a thrust. And to my knowledge, in my study of exercise, this is the single most difficult exercise, and that's how you do it. So in this exercise, you stand, you first do a plank, then you do a push-up, then you row. This is called as a renegade row. And then you tuck in, then you do a bicep curl, and then you do a squat, and then you do a thrust. So this is one single exercise, which is the most difficult to do. I'm doing it with a 12-kilogram Y bells in my hand. You can use it without a weight in your hand. But this single exercise is a modification of the burpee, but it exercises your entire body. If you can do, say, 50 man makers in one session, that's an ultimate test of fitness. So the best part of exercise is that you compete with yourself. It's very easy to be smart with the world. In exercise, you have to be smart with yourself. The only message I have is that it never gets easier. You just get better. That's the story of the exercise. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be with you.
Thank you, Professor Chaudhary. That was a wonderful talk. In fact, you have motivated quite many to start exercising from tomorrow. I know many people are doing it, but they do it in a different way, and you are doing it in absolutely in a home gym environment. And I think, what's your view on people who over-exercise? We have heard sometimes people do rigorous gymming and they'll end up in some problems and all.
Yeah, excess, like Francis said, excess of everything is bad. Excess of surgery, excess of exercise, excess of everything is bad.
That's true.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll come back to you later on. May I now request Gustavo, please share your screen.
Hello, I will start sharing my screen.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to join you today. It's Sunday here in Recife. I would be biking now if I was not in this conference. So I exchange morning biking that usually is all day long with my friends, just to be with you, my friends, trying to share with you a little bit of biking is in our life together with surgery. And usually I say to my friends that if really the biking is interfering with your job, just stop the job. That's okay. So for today, we are going to talk about a surgery in a cycle. And you know that we work hard in a hospital. I work in this old university hospital called Oswaldo Cruz. We do mean laparoscopy, as already my friend Manash had explained it to you. And during this pandemic, we worked like crazy people in this hospital. So how could we deal with this kind of high stress with our profession? We have to say that the best thing in your life is to work hard and play harder. How this passion of cycling started? Actually, my first bike was given from my father when I was the age of 3. I was occasional cycle when I started cycling every day to commute in Tokyo, 1995. When I was a fellow from Professor Kitajima, I was going every day to the hospital with my bicycle. And suddenly it became to be part of my life to cycle. And even in city or very, very bumpy roads, we can enjoy life cycling. But how can a surgeon can start to cycle? And as a surgeon, I am a specialist in inspiring people. So every time a fellow comes to my town to learn me laparoscopy, I teach him how to cycle. Like it happens, for example, with my friend from Singapore, who came here to learn laparoscopy and fell in love with biking. And coming back to his country, he is already cycling until today. Another friend from India, Mohit, also cycling every day now. My friend from Japan also, and from Guatemala. So usually when I arrive in the hospital with my fellow, the nurse said, "You don't look like a surgeon." But how a surgeon should look like? A guy who is depressed, with a body that he don't like, maybe dying young. I have a friend in Canada who inspired me a lot. My friend Nicholas, he said every trip is an opportunity. So when I went to Canada, I was cycling with him. Even in hard ways, he could cycle with me and sometimes not. And if you find a patient in the town, is my patient that I had operated 2 weeks before, he said, "Doctor, look at my incisions." I said, "Which incisions?" "From the gallbladder." I said, "I can see your incisions." And some of my patients, like my friend, when I went to give a lecture in Maceió, he came 200 kilometers just to grab me with my bicycle to go to this mountain, 1,000 kilometers high. But be careful. Do not turn yourself into a meme like this. I sent this picture to my friend and he sent the meme immediately afterwards. Everybody knows that mens sana in corpore sano. And because biking is good, it's good because it's a good type of exercise. It's a low impact exercise. I should inspire the ones I love, like my kids. This is my boy, this is my girl, and both of them are inspired. And this is like contagious. Some of the friends of my kid, I was the one who teach them to cycle. This boy never cycled before. I asked his father, give him a bicycle. He bought a bicycle and I taught his son how to cycle. Like this one, he was cycling with the bike of my son because his father never gave him a bicycle. He said, it's impossible for him to learn. He can't. He's afraid of cycling. And now he's one of the ones who is cycling best among the friends of my son. This picture, my son was just 8 years old. Now he's 18. And when you inspire your kids, it looks like you are doing something for yourself to live longer because you're going to live in your kids. And this is a friend of mine from Panama. He's the son of an old surgeon in Panama. He's a surgeon himself. He came to my town and he was inspired with my kid. So if a fellow come to me and said, I'm not fit for a bike, I said, don't worry, the bike is fit for you. You don't need to be fit for a bike. And it was a funny opportunity to cycle with my kids every day to school when we had a strike in the gas. And we could not fill our cars. Everybody in the town was walking or cycling. So I was cycling with my kids to the school every day. In the way back, we could see the sunset and enjoy cycling, like part of our lives. And now comes to the worst part. How can you inspire your wife to cycle with you? Your wife is part of your life. If you get a fat wife, a wife that is not very, healthy, it's not good for you. So biking with your wife will improve your life in every meaning. For example, you go to Germany, you go cycling with your wife in Germany. If you go to, for example, to Hanoi, you can cycle top down. It's easier for your wife. Don't climb with your wife. She'll be too tired. She will not enjoy. Cycling is enjoyment. You can go top down. You can go to the beach with your wife. You can go to very, very funny place. And remember, this is a paradise island in Brazil called Fernando de Noronha. If you go cycling with your wife will not go shopping. What's even better for you? You can also go biking with your friends. He's another surgeon from another town. And you can even go cycling with your friends in a journey, like in Germany. We started in Germany and we end in Austria. Or like in the south of Brazil, that just after the lecture, 2 surgeons escaped for cycling. And unfortunately, not everything is good in the life. Sometimes accidents happen, just like in surgery. And unfortunately, I broke my arm. It was a serious fracture. I had the opportunity to have surgery or to just wait the healing, spontaneous healing, because this is just a 4-part fracture in the head of my humerus. I took my time. I enjoyed life with the family and friends. I kept walking with the family. I was walking like 10 kilometers a day so I would not lose my shape. And I was inspired by para-athletes. This guy don't have an arm. This lady don't have a full leg. And they could cycle. They could enjoy their lives. So losing some ability is not the end for you. And especially because I knew it was temporary for me. And just like in surgery, cycling is beauty and patience. In surgery, if it's everything going all right, it's beauty. If it's not all right, patience. And 40 days later, we turned beauty again. We found the beauty of operating again. And it was in a congress in El Salvador, and my friend invited me. Okay, let's go cycling very softly. You can cycle with one hand. 40 days later, I was cycling with him, not in bumpy roads. My friend invited me. And a month later, I was in New York cycling with my wife. So I could find beauty again. And remember, biking means no shopping, even in New York or São Paulo. And you can enjoy numerous trips because when you go cycling, your views of the town is totally different when you go just running in your car. In Croatia, it's amazing, this cycle, especially if you are in a yacht like this, Angela Laura. Then you go from one island to another island and you cycle in the island like this. Every place is amazing in Croatia, even the beautiful sunsets in the end of the day in the islands, or the most beautiful sunset I saw in my life in Zadar. Even though my bicycle in Croatia was very, very simple one compared to the ones I had in Brazil, I could enjoy the very heavy 15 kilograms bike. And I could even help a friend of mine who is a surgeon. I just met him in the trip and his chain just broke. I said, don't worry, as a surgeon, I have the right instruments to fix your chain. I did a surgery in his chain and he could bike again. After a year, I went back to El Salvador to bike the bumpy roads I could not bike the year before because of my arm. Very bumpy roads up to the mountain.
Huh?
And I am very, very happy that my friend invited me again, not only to do live surgery, but to bike with him in the mountains. And of course, do the live surgeries. Back in my town, Recife, amazing town for cycling. Almost no mountains. You can cycle everywhere with your wife, your kids. We have the street that are among the 20 most beautiful in the world, called the Street of Bom Jesus, meaning Good Jesus Street. We have nice bridges, nice sunsets, very close by bumpy roads that you can go with your friends. We have numerous groups of cycling that we can go together, like 20, 30 people somewhere. And in this pandemic, people started cycling with masks. Actually, I started to cycle with mask as well for 15 days. Then I said, no, it's not surgery. You should wear a mask in the surgery, not cycling. So I started 15 days later, out of mask, cycling again. Bumpy roads, going to numerous different beaches around, cycling at night, that's really enjoyable, and going to another towns in the night. For example, Porto de Galinhas, that is a town 4 hours away. We start cycling in the afternoon and you arrive late in the night. And in the next morning, you are already in the beach in Porto de Galinhas. So cycling with friends is something that is good for your health, enhances your friendship, makes you work better, the idea of teamwork, and it improves your life in numerous ways. And if you can bring your wife together, it's perfect. Look, she's here. And with your friends, you can go numerous places and enjoy life in different ways. And you must be careful also with the food you ingest. If you are going to cycle, you need to have right amount of proteins and carbohydrates, and also some fat. Your meal must be very well balanced, and never forget hydration. You can have 600 ml of beer after every cycling. It's not drinking, it's just hydration. And in some places, you can have really funny pictures. That's me here. This is a big statue here, and we finished 100 kilometers ride in this statue. And recently, we went to visit a friend 900 kilometers away from my town. As soon as I arrived, he said, there's a bike for you here, and a bike for the people from your family. So we went cycling. Now my kid is already 18 years old, he's here, cycling with the father and my girl. So cycling is a kind of enjoyment that if you start, sometimes you cannot stop. It's very addictive. And this is my new bike, just a gift from my friends. And some of my friends, and this one I would like to stress, is the oldest among our team. He's 69 years old, and he can cycle much, much better than me. He is faster than me, he has stronger resistance, and he goes farther than me. And he's always smiling. It's an amazing guy. So I tell him that he's very inspiring for all us, almost 70 years old, and he's still cycling like a kid. Just like Robert Marchand, this is a picture when he was 105 years old. And unfortunately, last year, he passed away with the age of 109. He could not finish the year of last year. So the whole idea is to die really young, but as late as possible. So to the end, I believe that when you do something in your life, be careful. It's not about the destination. Everything is about the journey. So do you think I maybe would give you the red pill today of cycling? If you have some questions, maybe in the end I will be able to answer you. Thank you so much. And if you want to follow more of the idea of surgery, not cycling, many friends in Facebook. And thank you so much for your attention, gentlemen.
Thank
I
you.
hope you have enjoyed the lecture.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gustavo. That was a wonderful thing that you have told, that probably going to EU is a dual benefit of learning mini laparoscopy as well as learning biking.
Yes.
Great. Great. And I understand that age is not a barrier in learning laparoscopic surgery as well as also starting a cycling.
No. My friend, who is now 69, he started cycling at the age of 56.
Great.
He was almost crippled, and he was starting to use a wheelchair because he had problems in the backbone.
Great. But the only dangerous proposition that you gave is to take a wife. I think Indian wives might not agree to accompany their Indian surgeon husbands on cycling. I don't know about that. Okay, we'll get back to you after Puneet my talk.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gustavo. We'll get back to you. Puneet, are you ready with your talk? Please share your screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing that, you know, I think you have to unshare. I can't share till.
Okay, yeah. Gustavo, please unshare your screen. Yeah.
And let me see how to do it.
You have to stop sharing. Yeah.
Stop sharing.
I was also thinking the same, that, you know, I thought he might say that it's the best way to get away from his wife. I'm fast.
And he's saving money by that also. There will be no shopping as well.
Igor, please help me to stop sharing. Maybe you
On the top of the screen, you just take your cursor.
Okay, okay.
Stop
I found
sharing.
it now.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you,
Great.
thank you.
Yeah, Puneet, please go ahead.
Yeah, is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, so I think it's a very inspiring session indeed, and I'd like to put a disclaimer first. I don't really claim to be an expert on photography. I'm just an amateur birder. For the last 9 years, I actually started on my 50th birthday, and then I got behind the lens. So, I mean, that's the view from my office. So I think it's no surprise that it's easy to get behind the lens. That was when I was in Cochin on the beach. It's very easy to get behind the lens if you have such surroundings. Skills, this is when I started out. The bird is not in focus. The lighting is not good. And it doesn't take too long to get razor sharp images of this Baron von Rothbard from Swan Lake, or a portrait of this Indian roller. And you get razor sharp images fairly quickly once you get used to it. Sometimes you want to take a bee eater with a bee in its mouth, but everything is wrong. The lighting, you're going against the light, the bee you can't see, nothing is clear. But you gradually improve and reach better, and you get a control image also on the right without the bee. So I think as Francis and Gustavo and everybody highlighted, we have a lot of stress levels and poor quality. So we do need some kind of thing to prevent burnout. And the burnout has been shown maximum among surgical and urgent department residents. And one of the best ways is by inculcating hobbies. I think one important point I'd like to point out is as role models, we sort of develop a culture where we actually ridicule the family life and recreation time, and we demean it as inappropriate. So young surgeons should not be taught by their faculty and role models through innuendo and example to actually ignore their families. So I think it's important that they're able to achieve a work-life balance, which is conducive to a better life both at home and at work, and get a balance of all these factors into it, not just the professional and the financial aspects, but a holistic physical has just been outlined, family, social, mental. So physical, but I think a hobby is extremely important for a sound mind, and it's a very good de-stressor, rejuvenator. It even looks good on your resume. I look at the extracurricular activities, and when I'm looking for a junior, and automatically think of a person who's got something else better as better person. It also smoothens your sunset years because you're able to reduce your surgical time and gradually ease into a role which you might find it sudden otherwise. So for me, bird photography combines watching nature at its prettiest. It combines the love for photography itself, travel like Gustavo to and Francis to exotic locations, and you get people to appreciate. We're all junkies for appreciation, for all the likes in social media or even otherwise. We love showing off, whether it's on the screen itself. This is at the Kashmir floods when we'd taken a camp from Cochin, showing off to this old man, after taking all these cute kids photographs, or even on social media, sharing the new acquisitions. You can get tiny birds like this. This is a small bird amongst peach blossoms in the Himalayas, to much larger birds. This is a whimbrel on the beach, oriental honey buzzard, which is, the top bit is like a pigeon, and it's otherwise a raptor, a very sharp bird. Or large birds like hornbill. This is right from outside my window. They come right outside when the nuts are in full bloom in this tree outside my balcony on the campus. And sometimes I can even manage to get very close up, chopping the nuts off. You can get, this is at Kanha National Park. I took this red-naped ibis, not realizing that right on the other side of the pond was this tiger waiting there. So, a thrill a minute is possible. when you are out birding and in nature, you start to enjoy getting birds in flight, and slowly you actually hone your skills. You get a razor sharp image, and you can choose your best images as part of the flight. And this bird is yet to land, and still it's crystal clear. Some of these birds, even while flying, they realize you're a GI surgeon, and tend to show you some of their the bits from the GI tract, and projectiles shooting out can come out like this. So be careful. Sometimes they're very friendly and give a huge wave because they enjoy watching you as much as you enjoy watching them. Sometimes they do a dance, they can do a waltz, they can do a foxtrot like this cream-colored kosa. They can, the birds can be standing apart like this, not like Gustavo and his wife, or they can, do a dance together, or they can show you a mating ritual. Sometimes you don't even have to step out very far. I was doing a webinar with for an organ transplant workshop, and suddenly I looked out and saw sitting on my external unit of my AC a bird I'd never seen before in my life. So a lifer on the window. This was a Oriental pied hornbill. Or sometimes I've traveled 2 days, 2 nights to reach this exotic, cute little bird, which comes out only for a week or so. It nests and breeds in this place in Maharashtra, and we had to trek up to this place and catch this catch getting a catch. We can have woodpeckers. We can have these common birds like this crimson sunbird, which is so beautifully, you can see the sort of camouflage so beautifully. The bottom part is green, the top part is red, just like the hibiscus flower. Or you can get rare birds like this griffon vulture in flight, which is now getting extinct thanks to some of our NSAID drugs which are in use as pesticides. Or rare birds like this female merlin who's out on a kill. The next minute she found a prey and was out of sight. You can sometimes get a full bird in view like this racket-tailed drongo, or you can get the whole sky can fill up. Like this is actually on the banks of the river Yamuna in Delhi, where at sunrise these gulls go absolutely berserk, and it's such a beautiful sight to watch for anybody, even if you can't identify what it is. You get to see rare birds like this Great Indian bustard, which if Salim Ali had his way would have been the national bird of India. But unfortunate name, everybody thought it'll be illegitimately mispronounced. So the peacock became the national bird. Of course, I've had special moments when my photographs are selected. The Kaun Banega Crorepati called up and wanted photographs. It's nice to see your name on the silver screen for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. This is the Himalayan monal, which is the national bird of Nepal and the state bird of Uttarakhand. And this is another one of my photographs, which a very popular novelist in the US actually, who's related to me, she took the photograph and made a painting out of it and sent it to me from the US. So I was extremely touched. So, it has its pluses. And more importantly, I think the concept of Ikigai, the reason that makes you want to get up every day. If you can mix up, with your passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession, I think you have the perfect Ikigai. You can get the satisfaction, the delight, the excitement, the feeling of comfort. And you go back to your surgery much more rejuvenated over the weekend, over a week, or whatever, short holiday. For me, like I showed you that photograph, I'm right across from the Rajaji National Park. I just have to walk across and I'm in the jungle. So remember, you're killing yourself for a job that would replace you within a week if you drop dead. So take care of yourself and enjoy a balance. Learning is a constant bridge. But while you're on that bridge, don't forget to enjoy the spectacular view from that bridge. And sometimes, it is difficult to balance yourself on one ischial tuberosity. So it's also good to come on the other side of the lens occasionally. This is 2 days back in the Garhwal Himalayas when I was on a holiday. I thank you for a patient listening.
Thank you, Puneet. It was wonderful to see all those varieties of birds, and it is wonderful to know that you started it at the age of 50 only. I mean, that means anything can be started at any age. Its age is never a barrier. So those of us who are listening, you are all always stimulating to them, everybody, that all the hobbies, if we haven't started yet, it's not too late. We can start anytime.
Absolutely. I used to make fun of people when they said I'm a bird watcher. If I'd heard of, I'm now looking forward to reading Francis's books. I used to love his talks with all the cartoons and all that. I think I started putting all the funny stuff because of him. And I used to make fun of people. Oh, what kind of birds are you going to watch? Your wife is not going with you like Gustavo on the cycle. And
Yeah.
but on my 50th birthday, I went to the Great Crossing in Africa. And suddenly I started seeing all these colored birds, and it suddenly attracted me. And next moment you realize you're spending all your allowance on the camera and all the equipment.
And Gustavo also inspired everybody to take their wives with a bike, with a cycle. So it was inspiring. So I think we are coming to the last talk. That's me. We'll just a minute. Yeah. Okay. I think I am sharing my screen now. Is my screen set?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this was always asked, why a surgeon should sing. When I started singing, I was surprised that when people heard few of my songs, I was never a professional singer. I was not singing. I was singing in my childhood maybe, but for last 25 years, I might have never sung any song. But when I started, I was surprised people were not accepting it. With open eyes, oh, Manasa, you are singing also. Why a surgeon should sing? It is probably the best way to get the benefits of music for a surgeon. We as surgeon always have a stressful life. Apart from the other stresses, we have an additional stress of doing surgery. So just watch this lady who is singing and the other half who is not singing. That is surely there is a difference. And today I was surprised to hear my wife telling me that you were snoring while you were sleeping, but you have stopped snoring nowadays. So those are the benefits, not many benefits of singing. Singing releases hormones of pleasure and anti-stress hormones at the same time. It gives you always a feel-good factor. It increases happiness. It improves your health and even prolongs your life. So if you want to live longer, my dear colleagues and friends and residents, please start singing. It's not too late. You have heard Puneet, you have heard Gustavo, you have heard Adarsh Chaudhary. All of them had not started it when they were residents. All of them have started quite late. I started it just the COVID started, and I started also started this passion of singing. And when you sing, you take deep breaths, and this improves your blood circulation, your oxygen flow in the body. You always feel very positive, you're very relaxing, and you're always in a happy mood. And these are a few of the things that always promote younger skin and relaxes your face muscle, your facial muscles get relaxed. You always stay happy. And singing strengthens throat and palate muscles, and it prevents sleep apnea. It stops snoring. So singing has got a terrible advantage. Singing requires a strong concentration on breathing. So singing, and on the background you are listening a very fantastic song that's going viral across the internet. The young girl singing from Sri Lanka, that's going on the background. Singing is such a fantastic thing, and as a surgeon we should all start singing. You start singing, it doesn't make you need not be a professional. You can start singing. And this is a very good exercise for major upper part body muscle group, for your palatal muscles, and for is a very positive effect. And it is beneficial for your lung as well as for cardiovascular health. So singing is such a beautiful tool in our hand. It's such an excellent hobby. And thanks to anytime you start singing, the blood circulation, the brain receives more oxygen, your cells are rejuvenated, you feel lighter, you feel happier, and it is so much of a positive sense that you derive when you start singing. And all the time, singing always improves your concentration, your mental health, and your memory as well. So believe me, as you start singing, everything improves. There's a dramatic change in your behavior and your attitude towards life as well. And doesn't matter what kind of songs you are choosing. I mean, I was choosing songs either side. I like to sing a lot of spiritual songs dedicated to Lord Jagannath. And in between, when friends are there in a friendly meet, in a social get together, I do sing also some Hindi songs. So it is, according to research, it helps patients not getting into Alzheimer's and dementia early. So singing is such a beautiful thing that is every surgeon, every resident, everyone in the field of surgery. I think as a surgeon, you should start singing. Don't hesitate. If someone is telling, "Oh, you are singing," don't get upset. You go on, continue. I mean, as surgery, while doing surgery, we fell, we stumble, we learn, we relearn, we unlearn, so we relearn. It continues. So also singing. And singing reduces blood pressure due to its calming effect, and it reduces perception of pain as well. So it is such a good effect on your body, on your mind. It improves the immune system because of the lower levels of the cortisol. So it is an immune booster as well. So as exercise is an immune booster, singing is also another immune booster. So my dear colleagues and friends, probably as a surgeon, it's not late to start singing. So please start singing. And oxytocin decreases the feelings of depression as well as loneliness. You never feel lonely when you start singing. You always feel that you are among somebody. And believe me, it has been tested and published that people, when they sing in a duet, they have got synchronized heartbeats. I mean, it is such a fantastic tool. I mean, it synchronizes heartbeat, it synchronizes your feelings. So the response creates an immediate sense of pleasure. I mean, this singing creates an immediate sense of pleasure. It is so good to your brain, so good to your body. So singing improves your social life. If you are in a social get together with your friends, your family, if you are singing, many people really like to hear the songs. And many people really appreciation, leave aside appreciation, you always feel much better, you always feel much more relaxed, and it adds on to life to your years. So it boosts and increases the life expectancy always. So, and it does not depend on the quality of singing. It doesn't matter if you're not singing like Muhammad Rafi, it doesn't matter at all. Start singing as you like it. It doesn't matter. Over a period of time, surely as we improve in surgery, so also you can improve on your hobby as well. And if you have no time to devote for singing, don't bother. You can sing either on your ears under a shower or also on in a car. And it doesn't matter if you do not have time to attend to a singing coaching class, doesn't matter at all. Start singing, and YouTube is your best guide as well. So you can always if you are not singing at any other place, you always can sing under a shower or in your car as well. So just start singing, live longer, life will be easier, you'll be much happier. And so if you want to feel less stressed, if you want to lead a very happier life, contented life, please start singing from today onwards. After this session only, you can start singing a song of your choice, anything that touches your heart. So I'm just sharing this one of my song for this. So I think that was all from 5 of us. Let us now invite others to share their experiences and what they have to say on surgeons beyond surgery.
Manas,
Yeah,
Manas,
please.
I just have to say one thing.
Yeah.
You know, once I started singing and my neighbor's dog started barking. So I went up to the neighbor and said, "Why is the dog barking?" He said, "You started it." So
I know. Initially, you might have faced that problem, but
no, I am facing it regularly. So it's okay.
I'll give you tips. Don't worry. I'll give you tips. Anyway, I think we have a raise of hands from Dr. Biswajit Mahapatra, a younger brother in Rourkela. So please, Biswajit, you have anything to say, please. You are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Actually, I'm traveling now. I'm in the train, but I couldn't stop joining people. You know why? It's such an interesting topic, and it's thank you, Manas, for the initiative. And all of you, let me tell you, you are audible too. You are audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
Let me tell you, very frankly, in 2011, when I had one problem, the first time I found that I have to do something for my health, and I was in a crossroad. What should I do? And exactly that was the time I found that we all were disease care professionals, and health is a very important thing for all of us. And I thought if we people were not good at health teaching, how come a normal man? So from 2011 onwards, everybody must be knowing, I started telling people, going to stage for and teaching people about health. I did a lot of research. Now I am the India's first health motivator, you can say. I have a book, Care for Your Health. It is being read all over the world. My program now, I can say, Blueprint for Living Healthy, which I think every month more than 100 people that join me in this program, and I love this one. So I can say a doctor on stage, staging as a health motivator, or you can say as a public speaker. It is a different journey which I could do it. I think this is my contribution, and if time permits, sometimes I'll be with you people to at least give me some time. I can tell you what I did research in this particular field.
Okay, thank you,
very much.
Biswajit. Thank you, Biswajit. That's also another passion that surgeons can also make out to stay healthy. I think I see
Yeah.
Dr. Ashok Puranik raising his hand. Dr. Ashok, yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm really motivated today after watching your somebody's promoting cycling, somebody promoting exercise, and somebody promoting photography, singing. Yes, I think the more important is to have humor in life wherever you are and whatever you are performing. Your happiness, your confidence, your enthusiasm should exude everywhere. And you should make your surroundings really very relaxed and very happy, kind of a willing teammate with a lot of laughter and humor. So I give a stress on certainly balancing all these things in life, especially of course, your exercise, diet, sleep, work, everything needs a balance. And I've seen, yes, most of the surgeons are really very talented and they have some kind of a hobby. Yes, being a surgeon, I keep humming during operation. Either I request people at least to switch on to the FM so that some songs are on the background. So I think the music and the humor is really integral part of life. How much exercise you can indulge, you can sustain, you can regularly perform. Yes, that has to be really balanced. Not everyone can afford. Everybody has got their way of life and balancing the things. But yes, I believe in humor in life.
Okay, I mean, that's great to know that. I think we have amongst us Professor Jan Kukleta. Professor Kukleta, you have anything to share today? I mean, how you actually make yourself relaxed after any surgical stress? Okay, probably is not online anyway. Dr. Bhatia, you are there. I mean, I know he is. He has got many hobbies, and he also pursues many things very, very passionately. Dr. Bhatia, could you unmute? Okay, I find Dr. Jyoti SK raising hand. Dr. Jyoti, could you just unmute?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. It is a very nice topic what you have chosen, and hope I am the only lady surgeon in this group today. It's different.
It's a pleasure for us.
Yes. One thing, even I have a habit of singing since many years, and actually the surgeons are known for sincerity, punctuality, and concentration and all. actually this singing will really helps a lot to de-stress ourselves. And one more thing, I was very happy to know about the birds photography, which by seeing today's webinar, I feel even I should be into that. So the exercise and all it was very nice to hear and share their experiences. For a long time, they must be having all these experiences, and it is a great motivation to the young surgeons. So it is, I'm very happy to be a part of this. Thank you so much, sir. So thank you once
Thank you,
again.
Dr. Jyoti. If this program has really motivated you, then my mission is fulfilled. The whole motto of the mission was to motivate and inspire
Yes,
surgeons
yes,
to think
yes, sir.
something beyond surgery all the time.
Definite.
And you must be thankful to Professor Francis,
Yes.
who started this idea, and
Oh.
I just had the opportunity of giving a step to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, very nice, sir.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I find hand raised by Professor Siva Prasad Patnaik, sir. Please, Siva bhai, you can also share your experience or anything that you want to ask 4 or 5 of us.
Good evening, everybody. It's not an experience, rather, it is my appreciation of this entire program, because after a spell of very good academics week after week, it was just a relaxing one, and it was a eye opener for many of us, because we always thought that the surgeon's life is always confined to the operating theaters or to the OPDs or to follow-up clinics. But more of us, most important, we must have all these hobbies. It seemed from the different speakers, no hobby is inferior, whether it is an exercise or it's a bird photography or singing beautifully like Manas. So no hobby is inferior, every hobby is superior. And but what I liked from the lecture of Francis, he exactly quoted the words of many of the successful people in the world who actually came to the conclusion at the end of their life, like Steve Jobs or politicians like Parikar. That's the life should not be only confined to the profession itself. So it is the you must relax, you must enjoy the life. So as Gustavo has put it, it is not the destination. You must enjoy the journey. So live your life fully along with your family, friends, with all your activities. That's all.
Actually, as a surgeon, we realize it little bit late. In the younger days, we run after money. We think that money is everything. Once you have money, then you realize that you are missing a part of your life. And as Francis put it right, when you retire, you look back. When you don't have a theater with you, you are lost. You don't have anything else to do. At that time, the social life is gone, everything is gone. So before that,
the precious part of your life is actually out of your hand. By the time you reach 60 or 65, you are no longer fit for many of the things. But as you told rightly, it is never too late to start any of the hobbies. You can start and you can pursue.
As
Manas, I just like to add, Manas.
Please.
It is better. It's better to have than to not to have it at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, there is no time. After retirement also you can start it.
You can start anytime, sir. At 67 years, Professor Udwadia started learning laparoscopic surgery.
Exactly.
I mean, no age is absolutely not a barrier. It's just a number. It's just a number. Thank you very much, sir. You can start. You too can start singing or exercising or biking or photography. Any one of or trekking, whatever. I mean, you have always the option. Kamala bhai, Dr. KK Panigrai, Kamala bhai, you can also, please. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Manas. This is a great session. Actually, I must congratulate you for this conducting this beautiful session. We are having out of box topics should be there. This is regarding extracurricular activity. This is out of our main motto should not be surgery. In my life, I have seen from my childhood, I have been engaged in extracurricular activity. My hobby was drama in my schooling and college days, medical medical college also. After surgery, I am engaged in so many activities to keep myself engaged. That's why at 67, I feel myself happy and fit by God's grace and with your blessings. I again congratulate you, and this should be maintained intermittently so that we go out of our real certain, activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
congratulate everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for joining. I see Mohammad Alam, sir, thank you so much for joining. You want to share something from your experience, or you want to? Yeah, please. Please.
Nice program, very good. And I'm really surprised that you think so nicely. That was a very hidden talent you have shown now. And I was really a good singer during my younger days. And in this struggle for competing with others, I probably forgot how to sing. But I am now motivated that I started again. And I'm really, all the speakers, all the hobbies, what they have told, really, you can do it. You all can do that. You can bring a force. In our time, there was no scooter, nothing. We were cycling up to the medical college in postgraduate days. So I think you have to restart all those things. And really have chosen a very nice topic away from the usual academics. And thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you, sir, so much for all your blessings and good wishes. In fact, the entire session will be fruitful if you start singing from tomorrow. Yeah, and I mean, this is a motivational session. Seeing others doing exercising, seeing Puneet photographing, and Francis running after those insects, and Gustavo biking. So with his wife, lessening his expenditure, and with his friends, it's a true motivation for everybody. In fact, those of the younger colleagues who are thinking that these old people, they are doing it, why not me? So and age is surely just a number. I find Dr. Ajit, yes, thank you so much, Alam sir, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dr. Ajit Negi, you have raised hand, please unmute.
Thank you, sir. It is a great pleasure to attend this session. Very nice session. And as for your singing, I was very much inspired by my guru, Dr. B.K. Henry. Actually, he used to sing while doing surgery. And it was a great pleasure doing surgery as well as singing along with doing surgery. So singing is a part of, should be a part of surgery. And that was my great inspiration. My guru is no more now, and I still continue singing while I used to do surgery. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I think to reiterate, I think like what Manas said, you add life to your years and you add years to your life. I think both are true. So quality, everything improves, and you're back to surgery much more rejuvenated.
Absolutely. Your surgery also get much more fine-tuned. I mean, your patient outcome also becomes much better. So adding life to years and years to life, yeah, surely. Yes, Sudhanshu, you want to share something?
Sir, it's a wonderful session, and I think I've lost all my questions and by this time. Let me start.
Yeah, nothing is late. You can start from tomorrow. I mean, this session will surely inspire many to start from tomorrow, and yeah, it will be very fruitful. And I think, is there any other raising of hands? Anybody else? Devasis Patnaik, yeah, please. You are into some kind of hobby, or only you are doing laparoscopic surgery?
Manas, can I say something?
Please.
Yeah.
Anna sir,
yeah, I like traveling. I really like traveling. I think Dr. Puneet is here. Last around just before the second COVID wave, I got an opportunity with my school friends. We went to Kashmir, and it is really very nice. You just drive along the rivers and all. It's so nice. along and the Pahalgam, etc., the skiing, etc. Watching those areas in Sonmarg, it was really nice. Traveling is my hobby. I do travel, and I really love it.
Great. And in addition to that, also do something, one of these 5, some exercising,
photography.
some photography.
Exercise I do.
Yeah,
I really do.
And sometimes sing a song and send it to me also. I'll be happy to listen that. Khanna sir, most welcome. Please.
You know, I think there are 2 more things which you can carry out, especially when you are reaching at the age of 60, 65. One is the gardening.
Okay.
I think gardening is a beautiful thing. And if you got some place in your house, do and watch that green things which are coming out. And that is really soothing to your eyes.
True, true, true.
And the second is the pet rearing or the dog rearing which is there. That is also, you know, it is so relaxing. You know, I've got 6 dogs in my house. And I take care of 12 dogs which are just in front of my street there. So that also is a really good cheering effect for the surgeons. You know, when you come out all your tough surgeries and you want to really relax, you can do the gardening and you can go and spend some time with your dogs there. Thank you.
I think you have summarized it all. Those which are not talking, they are all relaxing. Be it dogs, be it trees, be it bird, whatever. Who are all not talking, they are all always relaxing. Anyway, I don't find any other raise of hands. I think we have really, and it was a wonderful session today, something out of the box. Not surgery, not academics, not those techniques. So it was a great time having others, having Puneet, Francis, and Gustavo sharing their experiences and what they have learned over years. And I think it was really motivating for many, and it was motivating for me as well. I think, Gustavo, I'll be starting. I had, in fact, purchased a cycle. I started by doing it for some time. Then COVID came in and I stopped it. I think it's a high time that I should start it again. So it's inspiring. It's inspiring. So it was a wonderful session, and it was wonderful to have each one of you today evening. And just to sum it up, that next 25th, we'll be having Professor Antonio Longo back on business again. Professor Antonio Longo from Italy, talking on PPH, STAR, and all the procedures that he had invented himself. So we'll be having Professor Longo that night, same time, in Surgical Academy again. So you are all welcome there that time also. So it was fantastic evening. Thank you so much, Gustavo. Thank you so much, Puneet. Thank you so much, Francis. And thanks a lot. Professor Kukleta, you want to say something? I just wanted to listen something from you, but you are not online maybe. It will be nice to hear something from you.
You'll have to unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah, you please unmute. You are always dashing. You are always motivating. I always find you in a very jubilant spirit all the time. Please. You are not audible. Yeah, you are unmuted, please. Somehow or other, I'm not able to hear that.
No, we can't hear. We can't hear.
Okay.
I guess, John, your computer is muted. John, you need to unmute your computer.
He is unmuted, but still.
I see.
Could you mute again and unmute? Maybe. I find Khanna sir making an evening work now.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Well,
Manas, I also did purchase a bicycle to go to my institute,
Okay.
which is around 5 kilometers from that place.
Okay.
I went there for about 2 or 3 months,
Mhm.
and then somebody stolen my bike. So after that, I did not purchase a second one.
Okay.
But I think the cycling is a really good exercise.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yes, as you have noticed, some people do very strong exercise,
Mhm.
and cycling is a very low impact exercise. Even a guy like 105 years old can cycle,
True.
especially if you adapt well your bike.
In fact, nearer to my place, there is a club which is called as Bhubaneswar Adventure Cycling Club. I mean, they had invited me a month back to join them. I had committed them that yes, I'll be joining sometime in during this. Whether the third wave is coming or not doesn't matter. But once you do not have somebody to accompany, some friends, then it becomes real fun, as you told. Biking to some place or going some distance, it makes a real fun.
And
Actually, Manesh, even if you don't have a cycle, walking is a good way of doing it. I mean, you know, even in the forest, I usually, if I go out in the evening, I will stay out the whole night. I'll go at 7 when it's dark, and I'll walk till maybe 2 or 3 a.m. You know, so walking, we walk a lot when we're looking for stuff. But I just want to share a little joke here, or story.
I saw that you were running after that pangolin, doing something.
Yes.
You were shooting. It was real fun watching you doing that inside the forest, deep forest. That was must be beyond past midnight.
Yes. Anyway, I just wanted to share a small joke here as we end, because our friend was earlier talking about his dogs and his 12 dogs.
True.
You know, John Nichols told me this story. He said, if you want to find out,
Okay.
you know, who loves you more, he said you lock your wife and your dog for 3 days in the cellar. After 3 days, you open a door and you see who wags his tail, who licks you, and who scolds you.
True.
And I guess the last message I gave to you is probably the most important. Just like in surgery, cycling is a perfect mix of beauty and patience. Just like in surgery, if everything goes well, it's beauty. But if really something goes wrong, patience.
True.
If you go cycling and you get a flat tire, patience. You're gonna be all right. If you fall down, patience. Just like in surgery, you always will be able to stand up again. And remember, it's not the destiny what is important. Journey is the most important thing in your life. It doesn't matter, because the destiny of all of us will be the same. But the way you do your journey will make your life unique and special. That's the key point.
Absolutely. I think Jan, now probably you'll be fine. No, you are not audible till now. We're not able to hear you.
Can't hear.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, thank you.
Beauty and patience.
Great.
That's another activity, dumb charades.
Yeah. Dumb charade. Great. Last one was great one. Thank you so much, Jan, for that wonderful signage. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Puneet. Thank you, Gustavo. Thanks each one of the participants. It was a wonderful evening. We learned a lot from each other. I think the biggest message we got that in addition to surgery and academics, we also should pursue something which really helps us, something which relaxes us, and that we should always continue. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night to many, and a good day to Gustavo and many of our friends from South American side. So thank you, and thank you, Professor Khanna sir. Thank you very much. In addition to your work, that was also a motivation that in addition to evening work, you could have, you joined us and motivated us. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.